Charlie, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Cam, Ty, go ahead and flip on your cameras for me, just so I feel like I'm not talking to myself. Obviously, don't necessarily have to participate, but just so I feel like I'm not sitting here talking to a screen. Um, Charlie, I'm going to give you a shout out because I was looking back at um, your weekly check-ins, and I think when you started, you were like 178 pounds, and you're up to 182. So
Yeah,
on some weight, pound a week.
yeah,
That's good. Do you feel it? Like, can you feel it? Like you're
yeah,
good?
yeah. I'm starting to feel stronger.
I love that. That's just comes down to your consistency. I mean, I look every day, you're in there, you're in the app, you're logging things. That's what it comes down to. So just want to give you a shout out for that. Okay, any other wins this week? Charlie, got anything?
Um, School hasn't been too bad. Teachers
Good.
have been pretty good. So,
Good. Haven't started learning anything
uh,
yet.
I had homework today. So,
Oh, geez. Okay. Well, I'm sorry. Um, okay, we also have Cam. Cam's new to the program, just joined this week, got his program loaded up. So we're excited to have him. He goes to prep. Cam, you got any good words for the good of the cause here?
Nothing much yet.
Okay. All right. We're excited to have you here. And then Ty, you're back from the dead. Are you there, Ty? All right. Not hearing much from Ty. We'll call out Ty later. Ty goes Papio South. Been on vacation for like the last 2 weeks. So and he's out. Called him out and he's out. All right. So it might just be us three for tonight. There are a few. Oh, hold on. Hopefully he's back. So here's what I want to do today. I want to talk to you guys quick about time management. So I know we're going back to school. And so what I want you to do is just go get yourself like a notebook or a piece of paper or something. Just real quick, go grab something. A piece of paper or something you can write with. All right, I'll give you 30 seconds. Go. Okay, are we ready? So I just want to get into time management. We're not going to like sit here and take a ton of notes, but I do want to make sure that these Monday night sessions provide value. And I do know that like time is a big thing for us, especially with school starting and we're jumping into programs and we've got all these things going on. We need to make sure that we, are able to balance all of these things. So I just want you to look at this. Okay. Everyone can see the screen, correct?
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. So see this little pizza slice, that 5%. Okay.
yeah.
What is the percentage of your life that's playing high school baseball? Okay. So nothing to write down here, but just I want you to use that as kind of a frame of reference for how short your window of time is. Okay. And so part of like my mission as a coach is to not only just like obviously I want to help you guys maximize your time your ability as a baseball player, but like there's more to life than just playing high school baseball. And so if high school baseball is like the peak of your life, I mean, we're kind of in trouble, right? Because you're going to spend more time as a father and a husband and a son and a friend and a coworker. And so it's really important to me that you guys not only get the best out of this 5%, but you get the best out of this 95% too. Okay. Because most of your life is going to be down here. Okay. If you're playing college baseball, this goes from like 5% to like 7%. All right. If you're going to live 80 years. So just keep in mind, like this window's tiny. And so we have to take advantage of our time, and we're kind of on the clock, and there's less time than you think when it comes to this stuff. So just keep that in mind as we go through some of this. All right. So my goal is to figure out, how do we take advantage of that 5%? Okay. How do we become the best that we can be at that 5%? And one of those things is time. So many things aren't equal, but everyone gets the same 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we make time for what we truly want. So I'm going to skip ahead here. How many of us are this? You guys ever have those thoughts? I just don't have
Yeah.
much time to do it. I mean, I do. I 100% do. So I've had to find ways, especially now, like, okay, so I was in your shoes, and I was super busy when I was in high school, right? With not only 8 classes a day or 7 classes a day or whatever, plus sports practices, plus your homework when you get home. Now I got to eat enough. Oh, I need to get lifting in. And then I also just want to like hang out and be a kid and watch some TV and play some video games, right? So I understand what this is like, and you want to hang out with your friends, you want to go to sporting events. But your schedule can fill up pretty quickly. So you guys ever heard of David Goggins?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty intense. Okay, so this is from his book, Can't Hurt Me. Um, and so I'm just going to read through this to you. I know you guys can read, but I'm going to read it to you. So it says, maybe you think I'm a special case or an obsessive maniac. I won't argue with you, but what about my friend Mike? He's a big time financial advisor in New York City. His job is high pressure, and his workday is a hell of a lot longer than 8 hours. Okay, he has a wife and 2 kids. He's an ultra runner. Here's how he does it. He wakes up at 4 a.m. every day, runs 60 to 90 minutes each morning while his family's still sleeping, rides a bike to work and back, and does a quick 30-minute treadmill run after he gets home. He goes out for longer runs on the weekends, but he minimizes its impact on his family obligation. Like, I'll tell you this right now, like as a 31-year-old adult with a 1-year-old at home, like I absolutely get this. Because when I go home, I'm gonna go, like, yesterday the daughter's got pink eye. I'm like, I'd like to stay married. There's a lot of things going on, but I also got to make time for you guys. I got my other day job, all sorts of things that I have to do, right? I also like to work out and hang out with friends too. But he's high powered, he's wealthy. He could easily maintain a status quo with less effort and enjoy the fruits of his labors. But he finds a way to stay hard because his labors are his sweetest fruits, and he makes time to get it all in by minimizing the amount of BS clogging up his schedule. His priorities are clear, and he remains dedicated to his priorities. I'm not talking about general priorities here either. Each hour of the week is dedicated to a particular task. And when that hour shows up in real time, he focuses 100% on that task. That's how I do it too, because that's the only way to minimize wasted hours. Okay, evaluate your life in its totality. We waste so much time doing meaningless BS. We burn hours on social media, watching television, which by the end he just goes on and talks about, okay, think about how long your life is, and then think about how that 5% window that you have, okay, and use that 5% window as an opportunity to think about, okay, what's really important right now. Okay, I'm not saying like friends and hanging out isn't important, but I'm just saying, like, keep in mind about how short your window is. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, you just got to know how fast it goes. So this is Tony Dungy. He used to be a coach for the Colts. Now he is on NBC. He's one of the color analysts if you watch like Sunday Night Football. But he says, for the great majority, I would suspect that the inability to prioritize and work through tasks during the day is the single biggest impediment to having enough time to do the things you would like to do. Okay, so a lot of it just comes down to, what are your priorities? And then, can I stay focused on those priorities regardless of the situation? Okay, so what are your priorities, and can I stay focused on it? So that's kind of what leads me into this. So this is what I want you to write down. What are your top priorities? I mean, I can help you. It's like, it's school, it's sports, it's health, it's probably family and friends, right? I mean, are there other things? Like for me, I would probably add my faith to this. Okay, but those are probably the big ones for you guys: school, sports, health, family, and friends. Okay, now think about all the things that you do during the week, right? If they don't fall under this, it's probably not super helpful. Okay, so you don't have to do this all right now, but these are some things that I want you to leave here kind of thinking about. As you go through this week, like each day, what am I doing with my time, right? And am I using it to like, and basically how I want you to think about it is if time is is an excuse to maybe not log my food or not get a workout in or not do my daily mobility or even like any of those things that are baseball related, then you either need to change your priorities. Like maybe baseball is not that big of a priority, or maybe I need to look at my other tasks that I'm doing and just cut them out. Okay. So I really ask that you like, okay, list the things that you're doing, the things that I'm doing throughout the week. And then, okay, is this really an important use of my time? Like, oh, I'm going to play 2 hours of video games tonight, but I'm not making time to get my workout in. Do you understand what I'm getting at? You really have to figure out what's most important to me in this 5% window. Okay, because you do have a ton of time outside of that 5% window, but you only have a short amount of time where you're actually a high school athlete, or even and then a college athlete if you're blessed enough to get there. Okay. So how do we figure out what our priorities are? Our priorities come down to our goals. So there's 3 different types of goals. So on your notebook, just put long-term goals. You don't have to write down this word for word, but just write down long-term goals. Okay. What are and when you're done here, I'll ask you that you just answer this. So what are your long-term goals? It could be to play professionally, play in college, make varsity. Okay. This is something I asked on your intake form. So like, what do you want to do long-term with baseball? Right? Because we're all in here because we want to play baseball. Okay. Then you need to think, what do I need to do to get there? So if I want to make varsity and I'm not throwing, mid 80s, then I probably got to get there. I got to throw harder. I got to get a better off speed. Okay. But then we got to think even like another level down. So what do I need to do to throw harder? I need to get stronger. How do I get stronger? I need to gain weight. I need to eat every meal. I need to hit every workout. Okay. So what we're trying to do is get from, okay, what are my long-term goals? And then what do I need to do every single day in order to reach them? Does that make sense? And I don't worry so much about the long term. I worry about what I need to do today to get to the long term. You guys follow me?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I want to ultimately throw harder and I need to get stronger and gain weight, what do I need to accomplish this week?
Workouts, eating.
Exactly. And so this one, it's kind of like playing golf. All right. What's the goal of golf?
Least strokes as possible.
No, simpler.
Win.
What's the goal?
To win.
No.
Hole in one.
Get the ball in the hole. Okay, exactly. Okay. So I need to get the ball in the hole. How do I do it? I got to hit the ball. But if I don't if the goal is to get the ball in the hole, what if there's no hole? Which way do you hit the ball? Do you know?
No.
Oh, yeah, it's kind of a trick question. If there's no hole, I don't know where to hit the ball. So we have to have a long-term goal so we know where we're going, but then we got to break it down into what I need to do today or this week in order to get to here. Does that make sense? So this one's important. The long-term goals are important because it kind of sets your direction, right? Where am I steering the ship? But then where do I need to go first in order to get to here? Okay, well, if I want to play professionally, play in college, make varsity, I need to throw harder, get better off speed. Okay, if I want to throw harder, I need to get stronger, I need to gain weight, I need to eat every meal. So then what do I need to do this week? I need to complete every lifting day. Can't miss it. Okay, to make the most out of my lifting, what do I need to do? I need to hit every calorie goal every day. Right? And then, when we get into throwing, only Charlie's throwing right now because he's the only one that's doing fall ball, which is fine. He's got to prioritize his throwing workouts and make sure that he follows them to a T, hits his drill work, right? Does all his mechanical work, and then takes all that stuff seriously, and then hits all of his effort levels. And then obviously, if we're going to play college baseball, we got to stay on top of our schoolwork because most of the money is in academics. Okay. So this part is super important. And so these are your priorities. So when we go back to this, these are the things that are important. Okay. And that's why I give you a daily to-do list, because I want to make it as simple as possible. Right. So then all you need to do is create the time that you can, so that way you can do this. You guys follow me?
Yeah.
Okay. So how do we create the time to do this? How do we create the time so that way we guarantee we get all of our lifting days in, hit our calorie goal, prioritize our throwing workouts, and stay on top of our schoolwork? You have to learn this. Okay. You have to learn to say no, because here's what's going to happen. You have all these goals that we talk about back here. Do all of your friends have the same goals as you?
No.
No. And so there's going to be times where you're going to have to say no, and it's really hard. And trust me, I've been there. It's super hard. It's still hard for me, because there's still days where I know that I need to go get a workout in, or I need to make time for my family, and I have to say no to my friends, because ultimately, like, my health and my family comes before my friends. I'm not saying I don't care about my friends. That's definitely not true. And they definitely understand that about me now. But I have to learn how to say no at times, because those two things are super important to me. Right. So if it doesn't align with your goals and your priorities, you have to learn how to say no, which is super tough. It's not easy. Okay. It's not easy, especially because your friends, a lot of times, if your friends don't have the same goals as you, and you know that you're going places and that you really need to get after it because you want these long-term things, and they might also say, hey, I want those long-term things, but they're not willing to put in the work to do it. What are your friends going to do? They're going to give you a hard time. They're going to make you feel bad for working hard, because they're either jealous, or there's like a saying where it's like, misery loves company. They know they're not willing to put in the work, and they feel bad because you're putting in the work. And so they're going to make you feel bad too. So that way you don't do it, and it makes them feel better. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's hard. Trust me, fellas, I say all this and it's really easy for me to say. It's hard to do. Okay. But learning how to say no. Right. And it doesn't mean like we be a jerk about it and say like, yeah, I'm better than you. I have all these things. But you just have to be to like, look, I got these 3 or 4 things I got to do. Okay. Maybe after my workout, I can come chill, or I can get online and play NCAA football 25, but I got to do this stuff first, And so, that's the challenge, and that's where the rubber meets the road. Okay. But you have to learn how to say no to these things that aren't your main priorities. Even like your phone, like you get sucked scrolling Instagram, and all of a sudden you're like, dang it, I just lost a half an hour. Right. And what were you watching on there? You're watching reels about, I don't know, probably watching baseball drill reels, and and then it's like, oh, maybe I should be doing this drill. And then all that does is distract you from what you need to do, because I give you the drills that you need to do. Right. So just keep all this stuff in mind. Right. Okay. So, time blocking, I think, is something that's a super easy strategy that you can implement. Okay. And this comes down to just like creating a schedule. So what is time blocking? Basically, you just create chunks of time where you only focus on one thing. Okay. So time blocking, just create a chunk of time where you're only focusing on one thing. So if I know that I need to do my lifting, I need to accomplish my 5 lifting days. I need to accomplish my throwing, 3 days a week, my mobility. Maybe I set up a schedule for myself. So every day after school, I'm going to throw from 4 to 4:30. And then after I throw, I'm going to go home, and I'm going to do my homework from 6 to 7. I'm going to knock it out in an hour. And if you have more time than that, here's what I'll tell you. I'm a school teacher. You have more time in the day than you think to get your homework done. Right? How many times have we just wasted time at the end of class for 10 minutes just scrolling, right? When we probably could have just knocked something out, or we had Titan time, or not Titan time, but we had like advisory or some sort of like, I don't know, homeroom or study hall, right? Then I'm going to eat dinner and relax from 7 to 9. So if you do all your work, fellas, I'll tell you this, if you do all your work, absolutely enjoy your time and relax, but get it done first. Okay. And then maybe your mobility, like, hey, I'm going to knock out my mobility every night before bed. Okay. Like the stretching and recovery days, I'm just going to knock it out. Okay. I do this. Think of it like brushing your teeth. You guys brush your teeth before you go to bed?
Yeah.
Okay. So add your mobility to that, right? It's no different. You don't skip brushing teeth. I don't skip brushing teeth, but I've had to add stretching because it helps you sleep at night. But here's the thing, don't multitask. Okay, your brain can't focus on two things at once. All right, so pick one thing, and I guarantee you, if you pick one thing, you'll be more efficient at it. It's kind of like, how many times do you just get stuck scrolling your phone while you're also trying to work on your math? You guys been there?
Yeah.
Okay, how much longer does it make your math take?
Twice as long.
Right, especially if you just would have put your phone away, right, and just knocked it out. So put it away, and then once you like have the fruit of your labors is to relax from 7 to 9. Okay, so just think about this as you're creating a schedule. All right. Okay, it's all in the schedule. So, if you need to like write it out at the beginning of the day, okay, I have a pretty good idea of like what I need to do today. I create like task lists, right? Or even on a calendar, like at home, like we have a calendar on our fridge and it's like, hey, I'm doing these 3 things today and I'm going to knock it out. Okay, you don't have to do 10 things. Okay, I try not to make I try not to make your daily checklist like a million things long. I make it like a couple things long. Okay, because you don't need to do a ton, but start to think about, okay, how can I design my week so I can get all of these things in? And then, like I said, there's nothing wrong with rest. Okay, absolutely nothing wrong with rest. Okay, you actually get worse when you do too much. I mean, other than like your lifting, your nutrition, your throwing, your mobility, what else is there? I mean, there's really nothing, right? So don't feel like you have to do all these things all the time. You just got to knock out those 4 things. Okay, and so go play your video games, go hang out with your buddies. Okay, but just don't let those come or get in the way of the things that you need to do in order to reach those long-term goals. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, give me one thing that we like to do just to like relax, unwind. Cam, what do you got?
Play video games.
Okay, perfect. Do it. Do it. Just make sure you lift first. Earn the right to play video games is what I'm saying. Charlie?
I've got an electric scooter, so ride that around. That's pretty
Oh,
fun.
nice. Cruising. Okay, Ty.
Uh, go around the neighborhood on like my dirt bike or electric scooter as well.
Okay. See, and I was the same way. I grew up on a farm. I had a dirt bike, and I would cruise. I'd go like from 8 to 9. I'd just go cruise around, and it was like super refreshing and relaxing. But I made sure I got all my other stuff done first. Okay, and then dealing with distractions. Okay, so let's just go jump to this. What's the biggest thing that distracts you?
Phone.
Okay, your phone, Cam.
I'd say my friends.
Okay, type.
Video games.
Okay, so Charlie, if I'm you, maybe you just like lock your phone up until you're done with your homework. Seriously,
Yeah.
something. Find a way to make it hard to get to your phone. Okay, whenever you do something, you got to find the things you want to do, you have to make easy. The things you don't want to do, you have to make hard. So, like one thing we talked about a couple of weeks ago is with nutrition. Okay, and so Charlie, what was the strategy I gave for making sure you like an easy way to get calories?
The trail mix in between classes, or like peanut butter and jelly
Right.
in between classes.
You need more calories. You put some trail mix in your backpack. You get a quarter cup a scoop, and you eat 1 scoop per class. How easy to eat 1 scoop of trail mix per class?
Very easy.
Very easy. Boom. You do that. That's 1,200 calories. Okay. That's something that we want to do that we just made really easy. Things that we don't want to do, we have to make hard. So if I get distracted by my phone and like, let's say I'm on my phone scrolling late at night, I don't keep my phone in my room because I know that I'll stay up till 10:30 just scrolling through Instagram. If it's in my room, I'll keep it in another room. Okay. That's an example of me making it hard. I have to go all the way to another part of the house to get to my phone because I'm distracted by it just as much as you guys are. Okay, so think of ways to make your distractions hard to be distracting. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Cam, how can you make your friends, this one's challenging. How could you make your friends harder to distract you?
Just tell them like why I'm making this a priority, or like try to make them understand why.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't want this to be misconstrued as like not hanging out with your friends, because that's definitely not what I want. Right. But I also don't want us to like not take full advantage of our 5%. And I also don't understand that like if something is really important to us and our friends aren't necessarily helping us get there, then like we have to just learn how to balance that, right?
Yeah.
Ty, how do you make video games hard to be distracting?
Um, Sometimes what I'll do is I'll like have my mom hide the wire somewhere so
Oh,
I don't get to it. Or I'll just like there's been some times where I haven't been on them and it's been good, but I just like tell my brother to hide something that I need to turn it on or something.
okay. There you go. That'll work. Um, so real quick recap. Your time as a baseball player is short. Okay. Your time is so short. Cam's the oldest one in here, right? You're gonna be a junior, right?
Yeah.
How long? I mean, does it feel like you were just a freshman
Yeah, it does.
and you're already a junior and you're gonna be a senior next year this time? I mean, it's gonna go so fast. Okay. So don't just like remember that as you're starting to make your priorities and understand how short your window of time is. Okay. Before you're like me and like now you're not, I mean, I'm not playing anymore, obviously, right? So I want you to think about this week. How can you apply these things? How can you make, first of all, I want you to do three things. So like write out your long-term goals. Okay. So write those out on a sheet of paper. Then I want you to explain what you need to do to get there. You know, so if my long-term, like a lot of it's just like we need to throw harder if we want to make varsity or we want to play college, you know. So like what things do I need to do to get there? And then I want you to answer, what do I need to do this week to get there? Okay, so answer those things. And then I want you to answer what's going to distract me from getting these things done. So answer that question. And then answer, how do I make those distractions hard to be distracting? Or how do I remove them? How do I make those distractions hard or remove them? Okay, so I know that's kind of coming off the page there, but that is what I would like you to do. And then once you answer those questions, send them to me in a message. You don't have to send them to everyone. Okay. Send them to me in a message. Take a picture of it, send them to me. Sound easy enough? I gave you some homework before school starts, but this stuff's important, fellas, right? And as you move on beyond baseball, it's still going to be important. Okay. Maybe it's a financial goal, right? Maybe it's a family goal. Okay. Where do you want to be in 5 years after you're done playing? You know, okay. What do I need to do to get there? I want $1 million in the bank. What do I need to do to get there? Okay. What do I need to do this week? What's going to distract me from doing that? And then how do I remove those distractions so I can stay focused on it? Maybe it's a family thing, right? I want a great family. I want an awesome, you know, I want a great wife and a great marriage and great kids. Okay, what do I need to do this? What do I need to do to get there? What does that look like as a husband, as a father? Okay, what do I need to do this week to make sure that's a priority? And then what's going to distract me from that and how do I remove it? Okay, so whether you're playing baseball or raising a family or having a job, it doesn't matter. It's all the same. Okay, and that comes back to that 5%, right? That 5% is that this right now is going to apply to baseball and school, but then that it's going to also apply to that 95%, the rest of the pie graph. Okay, and that's why this is just as important to me as any of the drill work or anything else that I give you. Okay. Questions, fellas?
Nope.
Okay. Do we know what we got to do?
Yep.
Yep.
Love it. All right. Other than that, that's all I have. Okay. If you guys don't have any questions, keep doing your thing. All right. Logging your meals, doing this. I mean, this will help you, right? So stick to the program and I mean, just being consistent is what's going to make the difference for you. All right. Just be consistent. Just stack days. Okay. All right. Well, if you guys have anything for me, I appreciate your time tonight. Appreciate you listening to my rant. Go apply it, fellas. It'll help you. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Appreciate you guys. We'll talk to you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Bye.